Are you really too old to change careers, or is it something else? Like not wanting to start from scratch, not wanting to make less money, not wanting to have to go back to school. Let's tackle those concerns today, and also let's talk about ageism. I'm Laura Sims, and I help people choose and start the right meaningful career, even if they've been trying to figure it out for years. In this video, I'm going to reality check the concerns I hear most often from my clients who change careers in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, so you can find a meaningful career without sacrificing life goals like buying a house, starting a family, sending the kids off to college. Concern number one, I don't want to start from scratch. You won't. You will not start at zero. You will use what you know in new ways, and yes, you might need to fill in some skill and education gaps, but that is not the same as starting from scratch. In fact, coming from a different background or education can be a huge advantage. Instead of being ashamed of your background, you can learn to use it as your competitive edge. If you're not convinced, you're listening to an entrepreneur and career coach who has a BA in history and an MFA in acting. I am living proof that you can change lanes and use your background to your advantage. My clients do this too. Concern number two, I don't want to make less money. Choosing meaningful work does not mean settling for less money. In fact, it often leads to making more money. I teach clients a service-first approach to choosing a career so that meaning and money are inextricably linked. If you're curious about that, I go into much more detail in my free training. Use the link in the description to check that out. Now, depending on the gap between where you are now and the career you want to transition into, yeah, you might need to prepare for a window of time where you earn less so you can ramp up into your new career, but that is absolutely something you can plan for and do. Concern number three, I don't want to go back to school. Don't worry, you probably don't have to. In my 12 years that I've been supporting people through career change, less than 5% end up going back to school for a degree. So it's most likely that you don't need another 4-year college degree. Focus on what you already know and can do, not just formal education, also who you are and how you operate. You have gifts and strengths that you take for granted because they come naturally to you. You just assume that everyone can do them, or because they come easily to you, you don't think you should get paid well for them. So be open to bridging any education gaps, seminars, boot camps, certificate programs, things like that. But you probably don't have to go back to school. All right, so out of these three so far, which one hits home for you the most? Let me know down in the comments. Concern number four, I'm just too old. You are not too old to get hired. You're not too old to learn new things. You're not too old to do great work and enjoy it. My client John started out with the I'm too old fear. We worked together to figure out what his homecoming career was. He approached an organization he knew about doing this work with them. They created a job for him because they were so impressed with what he had to offer and the needs he could fulfill for them. So don't overcomplicate it. It really can be that easy. But let's also talk about ageism, because ageism is real. And if you're in your 40s and 50s, you'll probably encounter it in some capacity. You can either let that prevent you from trying, or you can navigate that. Look, usually you just need one job. That's one yes. So you find where you're valued and you go get your yes. Your biggest problem is not your age. Your biggest problem is that you don't know what you want and how to communicate your value. You have more experience and skill to draw from than you give yourself credit for. If you put your focus on getting clear on what you want, communicating your value to people who will actually appreciate it, and you will be surprised at how much easier things get. If you're not sure how to figure out what you want to do, my free training is the place to start. It spells out the exact strategy to use. Just use that link in the description to get going. I will see you in the free training. I guarantee you'll learn something new about how to discover the meaningful work that's right for you.